Hey guys, Courtney here, and I am so very excited to share with you a great dear friend of mine, Crystal Robinson. She is a WNBA. She was a player, now she's a coach, and I'm just going to let her share a little bit about her background. I'm probably going to add a whole bio to the end of it because she's not going to do it. She's not going to give it any justice at all. So, Crystal, I'm so thankful that you're on here talking to my audience and your audience, and just tell everybody who you are and kind of your background.
Well, basically, like she said, I'm Crystal Robinson. I was a basketball player. Basketball is what I do, but it isn't who I am. It has afforded me a lot of luxuries to live around the world, learn new languages, make friends. I have a lot of credits and accolades in basketball beside my name, but those are really not important. They're important from the standpoint that they give me a platform that gives me the chance to reach out and bring people like Courtney to the masses.
I love it. So it is important because I think you told me how many points you made while in the WNBA, and I would love for you to share that.
No, I didn't say in the WNBA, Courtney. I averaged on 12 points a game for my career in the
That
WNBA.
is that is awesome.
That's
And so
that's very mediocre, actually.
well, I told Crystal that when we first met that we had something in common, that I actually scored 4 points in eighth grade on the B team. That was the total points that I got in 2 years of playing basketball. So we definitely no comparison. She is a great basketball player, and I am not. I tried to play really hard.
I also I'm not great with taxes or money. So you're a superstar in your lane. I'm a superstar in my lane. I learn a lot from you. You teach me a few things. I teach a few people, and that's how it works. So that's what makes it beautiful.
I love it. And so, me and Crystal actually met super crazy. I met her in Oklahoma. And she grew up in a really small town called Stringtown. And so tell them who all is in, what there's one very important person and Crystal that are in Stringtown. And will you just share just a little bit about growing up, Crystal? Just condense down, your backstory to the audience and why you got into basketball.
Oh, well, I grew up in a really small town, about 400 people. It wasn't a lot to do. So, basketball was one of those sports that me and my cousins played together, and most of my cousins were boys. And I had a cousin named Kevin Washington that was probably the best basketball player that I had ever seen. I just wanted to be like him, wanted to be able to beat him. I'm going to get out this wind in 1 second, guys. I wanted to be like him. I wanted to beat him. And that's kind of how my love for basketball started. I mean, not to mention both my parents were college All-Americans.
Wow.
So I kind of had it in me. I fell in love with basketball early. Make a long story short, I literally became the head coach of the college that my parents met at. So it has just kind of been a full circle for me. So
I love it. I love it. And so what happened is me and Crystal got introduced, and I started telling her about passion and purpose, and we started talking about taxes, and she got really excited about what we could do together and what we could give and share, especially with the WNBA, but then to the masses and teach and educate. So you want to share what we're trying to do in the world, Crystal, or you want me to do it?
well, I think Courtney will probably give a much definitive version. But for people who speak layman terms like me, basically, we have assembled a group of women, really strong, powerful women who know what struggle is, who have been at the highest pinnacle, who's fallen to the lowest, who's learned to rebuild their lives. And what we want to do is have the opportunity to just give every common woman a chance to learn some of the things that we have learned along the way through a lot of falling. So, and help women, empower women to be able to understand money, understand their credit score, how to make it better so that when it comes down to it, if you're the only person you have to depend on, you're very confident in the fact that you can do it.
I love it. Yeah, that's exactly right. And so adding on to it is, one of the things that Rusha which is Friends with Crystal, told me, and it really hit me, is that when you are a basketball player, when you're, a big time athlete, you literally go from being on the court and being in the spotlight to no light. And so the biggest thing after that is more along the lines of purpose, is to be able to, what do you do after basketball? And I think that's a lot of what we're trying to help people understand is that there's a bigger life after, after basketball, after, what you thought was the best thing, on earth, or after you just lost your entire career, or, after you just lost your spouse. And I think that's more along the lines of, we want to help everyday people understand the tax strategy as well as the financial literacy that I know, because I think one of the reasons why I was so drawn to Crystal is that there are a lot of athletes aren't given the financial literacy. So, and you can speak on that. It's, Crystal, you've got people who are making lots of money and then they have no clue what to do with that money, and they have no clue how to keep that money and the taxes alone. Right? Are you unmuted? You're muted. You're muted.
Not just for men or women, just in professional sports. I mean, there is this crazy number, like 82% of professional athletes, most of them come from probably low income background. And imagine being a 17 to 18-year-old kid and somebody hands you $20 million and you have no understanding of how it works. Not that that was me, but I have been in situations, I've made a lot of money in my life, but I'm nowhere near. If I had the financial literacy of when to like live off 30%, save 70%, no one told me that till I was 32 years old. Like, it's just a lot of education out there for people. And I just think that's how we're held hostage, because ignorance is bliss, but
Yes.
more bliss for the people who's getting over on you.
Yes, you're exactly right. And, and truly, I believe, and we've talked about this so many times, is that if you teach more people how to have more, then not only can they live more, they can live a better life, but then they can also give more. And that adds on and tacks on the massive purpose, is to give people a purpose that's bigger than their problem. And at the end of the day, I think that's what we need right now in America, is a purpose that is bigger than your problem. Because, here's a sad truth. And I say 6 weeks, 3 months ago now is when the pandemic started. 3 months ago, 46% of Americans did not have an extra $400 to their name, and 69% of Americans didn't have an extra $1,000 to their name. And so what that meant is that what we currently had was not working. And so the reason why I got so excited about sharing with people why they had to have a home-based business, I'll share with that in just a second, because that's what I talk about a lot. I talk to people and tell them that you can't just be a W-2 employee. You have to be some sort of business owner. And the reason why is because there are two tax systems in our country. And there is a tax system that was created to steal your wealth away, and that is for the W-2 employee system. And there's a tax system that was created to provide you wealth, and that is the second tax system, the business owner tax system. And what I mean by that is business owners, they create economy. They're the ones out every single day. They're selling. And so they are also generating more employees. And so someone has to pay the taxes. And so what ends up happening is it trickles down to the employees and they pay the taxes. And you may look at that and you may say, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't understand that. That's, it's not fair. It is fair in the grand scheme of things when you comprehend that if there were not business owners creating jobs every day, there would be more people on unemployment because there would not be jobs to have. And so, what it's my mission and purpose is to free up money for people so that we can help them have a better life. And I think that's, at the end of the day, I think that's what we all want, is for us to be able to live better and be able to give more. And at the end of the day, that's the focus that we should all live by. What do
Yeah,
you
but also the part that you're leaving out is that it's not enough to give people more money.
know?
Nicola's not on the phone call with us, but teaching people how to manage the money is where it's
Yeah.
at. We can give people as much money as we want to give them. You can
Yes.
give them money out the yazoo, but if they don't know how to manage it or understand how it really works or the strength in it and the strength in their credit score, then it's just like throwing money out the window anyway. To me, it's like renting a
Exactly.
house. So
Exactly.
that's what it boils down to. I think that this organization brings it all together. But the beautiful part about it is that it's not crazy costly. Like,
Right.
you're giving this information out to people because you care.
Right.
They don't have to give you a penny for you to tell them the information that they need to know. So that's what the beautiful part about it is. Because if I was out here trying to sell somebody something, I'm not a very good salesperson. I wouldn't have agreed to be here. But it's something that I think that the world needs to hear. If you want to hear it, if you want to
Yeah.
wake up and you want to take control of your life, you have to learn to understand money. And that's just the final, and not even money. Your credit score is almost more important than money.
Yes.
So I just think that if someone is willing to give you this information, it's already changed my life, just the connection that I've made with you in 2 weeks. So I just can't wait to be able to share with other people who have the interest in it.
That's awesome. And you have changed my life because you have, I mean, it's crazy that, it just dawned on me this morning, like there are people that truly, that we look up to that need us. And there are people that, that they seem like to us, they look up to us and we need them because we don't know everything about everything. Like, Crystal's a great basketball player. I'm great at what I do. I free up money for people. I'm a tax strategist. And, and she's talking about our friend Nicola, and she teaches financial literacy. And it's an amazing process that we can all work together and create such a bigger, we can create so much more together than we ever could separate, because I know a little bit about certain things and I know a lot about a couple things, like just a couple different things I know a lot about. And so, and you may be great at, like financial literacy, like Nicola is. And so what we're doing is just sharing, just educating the masses on how this all works. And then the next level is literally helping people combine their profits, their for-profit business with other nonprofits to change the world. And that's one thing I'm super excited about. But 2 years ago, I didn't have the extra money to give anybody. We were still growing our business and dealing with some personal issues. And, honestly, there was no extra money to give. And I think so many people this day and age, it's like the focus is like, how am I going to get by? How am I going to make it? And guys, you really can make your life a whole lot easier and better if you have some sort of home-based business. And the reason why is because you are allowed to now redirect your living expenses and turn those into business expenses. You don't have to be involved in network marketing. You don't have to be involved in affiliate marketing. You could literally start a business today if you want to be in the t-shirt business, or if you wanted to start a podcast. You're a business owner, and now you have access to write off things like meals and mileage and cell phone, internet, travel, business use of your home. Those are all things that you have that you can take advantage of. And so, whereas I tell people all the time is, as a W-2 employee, you make money and you pay taxes, and you have no choice on how much money you pay in taxes. And so we're taught to go to school, get good grades, and go get a good job. But at the end of the day, if 46% of Americans didn't have an extra $400 to their name before the pandemic, where do you think there are today? Because they listened. The problem is it didn't work out so well. And so, what I want to share and teach and educate people is that you can have everything that you truly want. One, you've got to first believe that you can. The second, you've got to have the education, and that is truly tax education to understand how to free up that money. Then you become a business owner. See, a business owner, they make their money. And then after that, they get to take their deductions. So they get to write off things like their meals and mileage and cell phone and internet and all these things are tax deductible. And then what's left over, then they pay taxes on that. And a lot of the things that are inside that level of income and their expenses, those expenses, some of those are needs and wants that they have. So you can literally take what you're spending every single day. You know, like I have this. This is a tax deduction. It's a little speaker phone that I talk on. I have a camera. I have a laptop. I have a cell phone. Well, I use that cell phone for personal use, but I also use it for business use. And so then that makes all of these things tax deductible. And then I teach people how to structure their business properly once they start making money so that they can keep more of it. And I think that's the thing that we're super excited about with teaching athletes is because they know how to make it. I mean, that's obvious. They know how to make it. They're really good at what they do, but they don't know how to keep it at the end of the day.
Well, at the end of the day, it ain't about even knowing how to keep it. There's so many athletes. Kevin Durant just had a financial advisor steal $3 million from him. If you don't understand how money works and you're putting all that trust in somebody with millions of dollars, you don't have any idea what they're doing. So
Yes,
you have to have some kind of understanding of things when you start dealing with money, period. Even if you're going to let someone else manage your money, you can't be dumb to it or they'll rob you blind.
that's true.
So
That's true.
it's a lot of things that kind of engulfs and companies that. And I think that understanding money is the first key. When you understand money, then you'll notice when some things are off. You'll notice if someone else is even, they understand the stock market better than you. But if they're managing it and they're not managing it properly, and you don't understand what ROI means,
Yes.
like, what are you going to, you don't understand anything. You understand what I'm saying? So when it comes to that realm, so you have to have some kind of base.
Yes.
So
And then the next step is giving back. When you have it, giving back. And I think that's one of the things that I'm most passionate about. You know, we switched our business over to something called a social business 2 years ago. And I didn't have the extra money to give, and we decided to give anyway. We made a decision that for every dollar that was going to come into our accounting practice, that we were going to provide a whole food, plant-based nutrition to children in need. So we were going to give a serving. So every dollar comes in, we're going to give a serving. And that changed everything for us. You know, we've been able to provide about 2.3 million servings of food in the last 2 years, and we're up to 8,000 servings every single day now. And most people don't know, and I think this is another lack of education, is that the number one cause of disease, disability, and death in this country is malnutrition. And the thing is that for $2 a month, you can provide whole food nutrition to children in need. Like, that was just a mind blowing to me, that why doesn't everybody help that? Because every 6 seconds, a child is dying of malnutrition. And there's currently 6 million children that die every single year due to malnutrition. And then the next up is Operation Underground Railroad. So Manna Relief is where we give and feed children through. And then Operation Underground Railroad is where we help eradicate sex trafficking. And, you know, I think this is where me and Crystal really lie. We lie and have a common ground in sex trafficking, because it's real, guys. Like, 6 million people right now are being trafficked. And an additional every 30 seconds, a child is trafficked or taken into trafficking. And you can actually buy a child for $10,000 to harvest their organs. And, you know, we're fighting over something that, you know, at the end of the day, we're fighting over something that ended, and but it hasn't ended. Like, sex trafficking, slavery has not ended today. And, you know, I'm so passionate about what we can do together to educate the world on this is happening, and we can help eradicate that.
yeah, it's just mind blowing. And when you hear these women's stories, when you've been kidnapped when you're 14 and tied to a bed for 7 years, and you have no idea what's happened to you for the most part, because you've been given drugs intravenously. And when they come out of these states, people like Courtney, them, and Nicola, and this is why I joined the cause, helping reacclimate them back to society so they don't feel like they have to go back to
Yeah.
their life. So many people come out of that with so much guilt and shame that they stay in that life because at least they're accepted in that life. So getting them back out, teaching them how to be responsible, teaching them how to manage the money, teaching them about credit score, like breathing life back into them because all the love's been stolen from them. Teach them how to love again. Teach them how to that they're human again, and release them into the world. And when you do that for people, I think those people have a heart for people.
Yes.
So that's what these organizations are about, and that's why I'm here today.
I just love you, Crystal. You're so awesome. You make me
Uh,
so it's really it's crazy to just meet somebody and feel like you've known them forever. And Crystal doesn't benefit off of anything I do. I don't benefit off of anything that Crystal does. What we're doing is just trying to help change the world. And I think that I've got skills that I take for granted sometimes, and that I want to help other people. I like to tell people I help people take the road less stupid, because I took some crazy tangents along the way
boy.
in my business, and I don't want people to go down that same route. And but it starts with financial education. It starts with the understanding of being able to help people not only make money, help them keep more of their hard-earned money, and then along the way, we can then give so we can have a better life. And then the next step is to help other people. Like, it's literally, you've got to teach people the things that God has given you and instilled in you. And I don't keep what I say. I'm not going to keep it in my brain. I want to get rid of it. I want to teach other people that same information. And so we're going to be doing a lot together. You'll be seeing me and Crystal and a whole bunch of other women and men along the way that are
Yeah.
just sharing our heart. And what we can do for the world is we're going to take our strengths and we're going to connect them all together. And we're going to see how far this goes and how much we can truly change the world along the way.
And we would invite anyone on the podcast to join in. This is a movement, and it's not for, we want to teach women how to be strong again, and that you matter. No matter what you've been through, if you've fallen, there's going to be some people there that's going to help you along the way.
I
Each
love
one of us have had people in our life that have helped us in some point in time, or grabbed our hand when we needed the most. And we have opportunity to do that. I think that's what's fulfilling in life. Now, I'd like to make some money along the way, but boy, I'd like to teach people how to make their own money and to be independent.
Yes.
So,
Yes. I love it. And Crystal is actually, we are working on getting her book published. That's going to be out hopefully in the next 90 days max. We're going to make that happen. And then we are currently working as well on combining our efforts and have a platform so that we can provide you with, because Crystal is a motivational speaker as well. So she is going to share what she does well. I'll get to share, my taxes, and we've got a whole bunch of women along the way that you'll start seeing, and so that we can help each other. So if you are interested in being a part of understanding and the giving, or education, and you want to be a part of what we're doing, just reach out and let us know. We would love for you to be a part of it. As again, we're not in this we're not financially benefiting off of each other. What we're doing is just taking what we know, what we're good at, and combining our efforts to go out and help the world.
well, Courtney, I'm sorry, I'm going to end with this, and it's going to be funny. It's on a really light
Yes.
note. It's funny to me. I'm just thinking that I'm so excited to get on the stage with you to speak, because I finally won't be the most country bumpkin sounding person on the stage. Like, they're probably going to think that you were on what's that crocodile show?
Yeah. Tiger. No, we'd be on
What
Tiger.
they, yeah. So anyway, I'm excited about that. I'm going to sound very astute compared to that
Will.
accent right there.
You will definitely. That you and I kept out the last whale. I kept out the third nonprofit, because everybody picks on me the way that I say it. Is we are working on providing safe drinking water, and no one ever gets it. Like, they think I'm saying WHALE, and I'm actually saying whale. I'm saying WELL. So
Yeah.
super funny. So guys, if you want to be part of what we're doing, reach out. We'd love to have you, and we're going to have a lot of these lives just to share, kind of our knowledge, our background, our experiences, and we'd love to have you be a part. So DM us, and we will talk with you soon. Crystal, I thank you so much for being
You're
on
welcome,
here,
Courtney.
just sharing who you are, and so your amazing heart.
All right, we'll talk soon. Thank you.
All right, bye, bye,
Bye.
guys.